All right, so today we're going to really do a deep dive into glucose.
Yeah.
We've got articles, research in your notes.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
It is really fascinating.
You know what's interesting is that we often think about sugar as this purely dietary thing, but, it's really deeply tied to how our body functions on a cellular level.
Yeah.
And the impact of glucose goes way beyond just weight.
Okay, so we know glucose is our body's, favorite fuel.
You're right.
What happens when it gets out of whack?
Yes.
So what are these glucose spikes that everyone's always talking about?
Yeah, so imagine your cells are like these tiny little engines running on glucose.
Okay.
And now picture dumping a whole tank of fuel in at once.
Huh.
That's a glucose spike, and it overwhelms the system, leading to all sorts of problems.
And what are the consequences of those spikes? My notes mention fatigue, brain fog, even faster aging.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's like revving your car engine too high too often. It wears things down faster. On a cellular level, those spikes trigger a process called glycation, which damages the cells and contributes to aging.
Wow.
That's where the wrinkles and organ damage come in.
Okay, that's definitely motivating me to keep my glucose in check.
Right.
I try to avoid the obvious sugar bombs like candy and soda.
Yeah.
But what about those hidden culprits?
Yeah.
Those seemingly healthy choices that might be secretly spiking my blood sugar.
Yeah, you're right. It's tricky.
Yeah.
We've been told fruit is good for us, which it is.
Right.
But even natural sugars can cause those spikes,
Okay.
especially when they're processed, like in juice or smoothies. A big bowl of grapes,
Yeah.
or even some breakfast cereals can have a surprising amount of sugar.
So even if it's natural sugar, too much at once can still mess with my system.
Exactly.
What about cereals made from rice and other grains?
Good question. Starches, like the ones in rice, break down into glucose during digestion.
Wow.
So even if the cereal doesn't have table sugar, it can still impact blood sugar levels significantly.
Wow. Okay, so much for my morning bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
What about a savory breakfast instead?
Yes.
I've heard that can make a big difference in energy levels throughout the day.
Absolutely. Starting your day with protein instead of sugar is a game changer.
Okay.
Think eggs, leftover fish, tofu, even Greek yogurt. It keeps your blood sugar stable, so you avoid that mid-morning crash.
Yeah.
And those intense cravings later on.
I have experimented with this a little bit.
Yeah.
And it is surprising how much more focused and energetic I feel.
Right.
So what happens when you do eat sugary foods on an empty stomach?
Think of it like this. You're sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride.
Oh, okay.
It shoots up, then it crashes down,
Yeah.
leaving you feeling drained and craving more sugar.
So it's like setting myself up for a day of energy dips and cravings just from how I start my morning.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
It highlights how much power we have over our energy levels just by understanding how our bodies process glucose.
Okay, this is all making so much sense.
Good.
So we know spikes are bad.
Right.
But what can we actually do about them? Yeah. Are there simple ways to keep things in check?
Absolutely. One of the most effective strategies is veggies first.
Right.
Starting your meal with a salad or some vegetables creates this fiber mesh in your gut that slows down sugar absorption.
So it's like putting a speed bump on that glucose highway.
Exactly.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
What about snacks? I definitely get those afternoon cravings.
Think about it as putting clothes on your carbs.
Okay.
Pair your carbs with protein, fat, or fiber to help balance things out. Apple slices with peanut butter, whole grain crackers with cheese. Those are good examples.
Genius. So I'm not saying no to the carbs.
Yeah.
I'm just making them work for me.
Exactly.
This is way more sustainable than just trying to avoid all sugar forever.
It's about working with your body,
Yeah.
not against it.
Okay, so we've talked about breakfast and snacks.
Right.
But what about meals in general?
Yeah.
I've always focused on calories. But now I'm wondering if that's even the whole story.
Calories are just one piece of the puzzle. What matters most is the type of food that you're eating.
Okay.
Two foods can have the same calorie count, but have drastically different effects on your blood sugar.
Okay, hold on. Give me an example.
Okay.
How can two things with the same calories affect my blood sugar differently?
Imagine a 200-calorie snack.
Okay.
One is a candy bar.
Okay.
The other one is a handful of almonds with some berries.
Okay.
The candy bar is almost pure sugar, so it sends your blood sugar soaring.
Right.
The almonds and berries, though, have protein, fiber, and healthy fats, which slow down that sugar absorption and keep things more stable.
So it's not just about how much I'm eating,
Right.
but what those calories are actually made of, whether it's sugar, protein, fat, or fiber.
Exactly.
That's a huge shift in perspective.
It is.
It's like quality over quantity.
Exactly. It's about understanding how those ingredients interact with your body
Yeah.
and making choices that support your overall health.
This is blowing my mind a little bit.
Good.
I'm starting to see food in a whole new light.
And it's not just about physical health either.
Okay.
Those blood sugar swings can directly affect your mental and emotional well-being too.
Wait, seriously. My mood swings could be tied to my blood sugar.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Think irritability, anxiety, brain fog.
Yeah.
It can even affect your relationships.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. Tell me more about this mind-body connection.
There was actually a fascinating study done with married couples.
Oh, I love a good study. Tell me about it.
Okay, so researchers gave each person a voodoo doll representing their spouse.
Wait, a voodoo doll. Okay, that's definitely a unique approach.
Right, and they asked them to stick a pin in it each time their spouse annoyed them over 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
At the end of the study, they measured everyone's blood sugar levels.
Okay.
And guess what? The people that had the most irregular glucose levels put the most pins in their spouse's voodoo doll.
No way. So the people with more blood sugar swings were also, like, more irritable and easily annoyed.
Exactly. It shows how interconnected our physical and mental well-being really are.
This is incredible. I'm starting to realize how much power we have over our mood and overall well-being just by understanding how glucose affects our bodies.
Absolutely, and this is just the beginning. We haven't even talked about exercise, the vinegar hack, or some of the interesting insights about supplements.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. Let's dive into all of that.
So before we jumped into that voodoo doll study,
Right.
which was wild, by the way,
It was wild.
you had mentioned exercise.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how does working out play into all this?
Yeah, so physical activity, like how does that help?
Physical activity is like a secret weapon when it comes to blood sugar control.
Okay.
When you move your body, your muscles use up glucose for fuel,
Okay.
which helps to lower those spikes.
So it's not just good for my heart and muscles.
All right.
It's actually helping to regulate my glucose levels too.
Exactly. And the more intensely you exercise, the
Yes.
more glucose your muscles are going to use.
Okay, I'm definitely motivated to get moving more often.
Good.
Now, what about that vinegar hack? Is it true that drinking vinegar can help with blood sugar?
You know, it might sound strange,
Yeah.
but there's actually some science behind it.
Okay.
Vinegar contains acetic acid.
Okay.
And studies have shown that a small amount of diluted vinegar before a meal can actually help slow down sugar absorption.
So we're not talking about chugging straight vinegar.
Definitely not. A
Right.
tablespoon or so diluted in a big glass of water is a good starting point.
Okay.
And use a straw to protect your teeth from the acidity.
Okay, that sounds much more manageable.
Right.
Yeah, it's like giving my body a little extra help to manage those incoming sugars.
Precisely.
Okay.
And speaking of managing sugars,
Okay.
let's talk about snacking.
Yes.
We know to pair carbs with protein, fat, or fiber, but are there any specific snack choices that are better than others when it comes to blood sugar?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm always on the hunt for healthy snacks that will keep my energy levels stable.
Remember the close on your carbs principle?
Yeah.
Instead of a plain cookie, pair it with some Greek yogurt.
Okay. Or a handful of almonds.
Right.
An apple by itself isn't the best choice, but apple slices with peanut butter are great.
This makes snacking so much easier.
Right.
It's not about deprivation.
Yeah.
It's just about, like, making smart choices.
Exactly.
What about those protein bars that are so popular these days?
It depends.
Okay.
Many protein bars are actually loaded with added sugar,
Oh.
which can work against you.
So how can I tell if a protein bar is a good choice?
Check the order of the ingredients.
Okay.
They're listed by weight.
Mm,
So if sugar is one of the first few ingredients, that's a red flag.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the sugar should be further down the list.
Yeah.
Ideally after things like nuts and seeds and the protein sources. Yeah.
Exactly. And don't be fooled by those sneaky sugars hiding behind those fancy names like date puree,
Right.
honey, agave, or fruit juice concentrate.
It's like they're trying to trick us.
They are.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be scrutinizing those labels from now on.
It's amazing how much I'm learning about like the hidden sugars in our food.
Yeah, it's eye-opening.
Yeah.
And once you start paying attention, you realize how much power we have to make informed choices about what we put into our bodies.
I'm feeling so much more in control of my health already.
Good.
But I do have a question about supplements.
Yeah.
I take a daily multivitamin, probiotics, a few other things for energy and just overall health.
Uh-huh.
Do supplements play a role in glucose management?
They can be a helpful addition,
Okay.
but they should never be a replacement for a healthy lifestyle. Focusing on what we've talked about already.
Yeah.
Savory breakfast, veggies first, close on your carbs.
Right.
That's the foundation for blood sugar control.
So supplements aren't like a magic bullet. They're more like a support system for the choices we're already making.
Exactly. But they can be beneficial,
Okay.
especially during times where it's hard to stick to your usual routine,
Right.
like during travel.
Yeah.
Or if you're dealing with a specific health issue.
That makes sense if I'm traveling and it's harder to eat healthy. A glucose balancing supplement could help keep things in check.
Precisely. And if you're considering glucose supplement,
Okay.
always look for products that are backed by scientific research and formulated with natural ingredients.
Okay, so do your research, choose wisely. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Are there any specific ingredients that you look for in a glucose supplement? What are some good ones?
Some of my favorites include white mulberry leaf extract,
Okay.
lemon balm extract, cinnamon, and antioxidants from green vegetables. They've been studied for their potential to help regulate blood sugar and support overall metabolic health.
I'm writing that down.
Good.
And I'll be on the lookout for added sugars
Yes.
or artificial ingredients,
Yeah.
which could actually make things worse.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
all about being a conscious consumer
Yeah.
and understanding what you're putting into your body.
This whole conversation has been so empowering.
Good.
I feel like I'm finally taking control of my health in a way that feels sustainable and realistic.
That's great.
But I do want to touch on something that's been in the news a lot lately.
Let me guess. Ozempic?
You got it.
Yeah.
I've seen so much about Ozempic and other medications for weight loss.
Right.
And it's amazing that people are finding help.
Uh-huh.
But it also makes me a little sad.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It does make you think about the state of our food environment.
Right. It's like our food system is so out of balance
Yeah.
that we need medication to manage our weight and our blood sugar.
It's a thought-provoking observation.
Yeah.
And while medication can be a valuable tool for some,
Right.
it's important to remember that it's not a long-term solution on its own.
Right. We still need to address those root causes,
Yes.
like our relationship with food, our understanding of nutrition,
Uh-huh.
and the overabundance of processed foods.
Exactly. And that's where knowledge comes in.
Yeah.
By understanding how glucose affects our bodies,
Right.
we can make conscious choices that support our health and well-being, regardless of whether we're using medication or not.
It's about taking ownership of our health,
Yes.
not just relying on those quick fixes.
Exactly.
Which, speaking of quick fixes,
Yeah.
is there anything else we can do besides all the things that we've already talked about?
It's interesting you bring that up.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a crucial point we haven't even mentioned yet.
Okay.
And that's the idea that symptoms are messages.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me more.
We often view symptoms
Okay.
like fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, digestive problems
Right.
as annoyances to be suppressed or eliminated.
Yeah.
But what if we saw them as messages from our bodies trying to tell us something?
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's like our bodies are trying to communicate with us, but we haven't learned the language.
Exactly. So instead of getting frustrated or silencing those messages with medication or quick fixes,
Right.
we can start listening
Right.
and asking ourselves, what is my body trying to tell me?
That's such a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It's about being curious and compassionate towards our bodies,
Right.
not seeing them as like the enemy.
Beautifully said. And it's through that understanding and connection that we can make choices that truly nourish and support our health, both physically and mentally.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
Yeah.
This is all so much more than just managing my blood sugar.
It is?
It's about truly understanding my body and working with it,
Yeah.
not against it.
And you're right. It is about so much more than just glucose. But understanding glucose is such a powerful starting point
Yeah.
for reclaiming your health and feeling your best.
This has been such an eye-opening and inspiring conversation.
Good.
I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for navigating my health journey. What an amazing deep dive.
I'm so glad you're finding this helpful. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. There are countless resources available to support you. Books, podcasts, websites, communities, all dedicated to helping you feel your best.
That's true. And speaking of resources, I know you have a book that goes even deeper into all of this, Glucose Revolution.
Yes, in the book, I delve into the science, the hacks, the strategies, and how to build those sustainable habits that will support your long-term health.
Wow.
It's everything we've talked about and more.
I am definitely adding that to my reading list.
Awesome.
This has been an amazing deep dive, and I'm excited to keep learning and putting all of this knowledge into practice.
That's fantastic. Remember, even small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Start with 1 or 2 things we've discussed today and see how you feel.
Great advice. I'm feeling so much more empowered and hopeful about my health journey.
That's wonderful to hear. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Imagine how much more you could accomplish if you were consistently fueled and focused throughout the day, free from those energy dips, cravings, and mood swings.
Wow. That's an amazing thing to think about. It really makes you realize how much potential we have when we're in control of our health and energy levels.
Exactly. How would that change your work, your relationships, your creativity, your overall well-being?
That's such a powerful question. It really makes you think about the ripple effects of taking control of your health and well-being.
It really does. And it all starts with understanding the power of glucose. So keep diving deep, keep experimenting, and keep those blood sugar levels steady.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been an incredible deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
It's amazing to think about how much more we could actually accomplish if we weren't always fighting those energy dips and cravings.
It really is. You know, we just get so used to those afternoon slumps, the sugar cravings, the mood swings.
Yeah.
We think it's normal.
We do. It's just like part of life.
Yeah, but the truth is we can feel so much better.
We really can. It's so empowering to realize that we're not just victims of our biology or our circumstances. Like, we can make choices that actually help us feel our best.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming either.
No, not at all.
It's not about making these radical changes overnight.
Right.
Even small, consistent tweaks, like switching to a savory breakfast or incorporating those veggies first, can make a profound difference over time.
I am all about small wins and those little things that just like add up.
Exactly.
That's not about perfection. It's about progress.
It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah.
We all respond differently to different foods,
Right.
supplements, even exercise routines.
It's true.
Experiment, listen to your body's signals, and find what helps you feel your best.
Yeah, which brings us back to that idea of symptoms as messages.
Yes.
If something isn't working for me, my body will let me know.
Exactly.
It's about paying attention and then adjusting course as needed.
You got it. There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to health.
Yeah.
It's a journey, not a destination.
That's so true.
There'll be ups and downs, experiments that work and some that don't.
So true.
But the key is to be patient with ourselves, to keep learning and keep striving to feel our best.
I love that. This conversation has been such a gift.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of glucose and how it affects my body, my mind, even my relationships.
I'm so glad to hear that, and I hope it inspires you to keep exploring and experimenting on your health journey.
It really has. I know our listeners are feeling inspired too. So before we go, I want to leave everyone with like a little challenge.
Okay, I like it.
Think about how much of your day actually revolves around those energy dips and cravings.
Yeah.
How often do you reach for a sugary snack or another cup of coffee just to get through the afternoon?
Yeah, good question.
Now imagine what you could accomplish if you were consistently fueled and focused.
Right.
What goals could you achieve? What dreams could you pursue?
That's such a powerful invitation.
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming our energy, our time, our lives by understanding the power of glucose.
Exactly. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep experimenting, and keep those blood sugar levels steady. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into glucose.
It's been a pleasure.